Hey, what's up, and welcome into Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Thanks so much for downloading the podcast and checking us out on YouTube as well. YouTube.com. Look for Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. We are growing big time on the YouTube and also in our podcast as well because of you. Thank you so much. And our thanks to Ankin Law, 312-6million, for the great Howard Ankin at his holiday party on Friday. That guy knows how to throw a party. I was in the West Loop with that guy. Full suit. He was outstanding, but also is outstanding when it comes to your rights, slip and fall, injuries at the job. Make sure you put that number in your phone. Injury Law Made Personal. It's Howard Ankin and Ankin Law, 312-6million, for the great Howard Ankin. We cannot wait for Saturday when the Bears take on the Green Bay Packers. This game is more than just another Bears-Packers game. Okay, this is a game in which the Bears can establish themselves as getting their lick back, beating the Packers. That's one thing, but also just establishing themselves as a team that's on their way to the playoffs, because you got to beat the Packers, you got San Francisco, you got Detroit. But instead of me talking about it, I decided to turn to a 30-year veteran of pro wrestling. He's given his all to the business and to us. He is our forever Euro Continental champion. He is super fan for the Chicago Bears. He is the great D'Lo Brown, and he joins us here on Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. D, as always, I appreciate the time.
Man, Hoodie, it's so great to be on with you. I'm always excited to go under the hood with you, man, and we can chop it about the Bears. And, yeah, you're just laying it out there, man. This Saturday is, to me, the most important Bears-Packers game since the NFC Championship game back in 2012. Like, this is the game, because we can talk about, we're a year ahead of schedule and we're doing great. But next year's not promised. Next year, forget about next year. This is the time right now to reestablish not only this rivalry, but to reestablish the division and what that C on the helmet means. And it don't mean nothing if you don't beat Green Bay this week.
I want to talk to you about where the Bears are right now at 10-4. Just remember the last few years under Matt Eberflus, lack of accountability, a team fraying at the edges. Like, all of a sudden guys had podcasts and they were saying what they wanted to say about the organization. And so everyone had to get fired, all the coaching staff. And now Ben Johnson comes in. Just how surprised are you, the way the Bears have gone from, worst to first, and it seems sustainable right now?
It's crazy, as you pointed out. Yeah, the boys used to chirp all the time, and, they had the Micah Parsons effect. Everybody had their podcast, and everybody had to say something. And now the only thing you hear coming out of Halas Hall is good, better, best.
Yeah.
And not only have they bought in, not only do they believe everything this man is telling them, but then he goes out there and he proves it schematically. He is, for the first time, schematically getting wide receivers open so Caleb can just dump the ball off. You saw it last weekend. It was the thing of beauty. 3 or 4 times, Luther Burden standing by himself, between the hash by himself. And it is amazing where this team has come in one calendar year, from the embarrassment of Eberflus keeping timeouts in his pocket, which he probably still has in his pocket right now, as the Cowboys.
Yes.
To Caleb, people thinking Caleb was overrated, overhyped, and a bust because all he was doing was running for his life, but people omitted the fact that he was running for his life. To 1 calendar year ago, having considered the worst offensive line in the National Football League, to now statistically the best offensive line in the National Football League. And there's only one thing different, and that's Coach Ben Johnson. And that's the difference. And to me, that tells me the Bears made not only the perfect hire, but a generational hire.
I say this all the time, and you know football better than anybody, D'Lo. It's just, when you're a bad team, you incrementally make changes with the coaching staff and with the players, right? If you build and get 1 or 2 gems in the draft, maybe you get 1 guy or 2 guys in free agency, and the rest is scrap heap guys, because you're just trying to figure out who can play and who can't play. I can't recall a time where the Bears sonically changed their fortunes by fixing the offensive line in one offseason, to be able to have multiple weapons offensively in one offseason, to be able to get guys off the scrap heap, by the way, because of injuries to the defense, and to be able to produce. it feels different because when you're the Jets or the Giants or the Raiders, like, when you have first year coaches usually it takes a while to get it set up. For the Bears to be last place to first place and then have weapons, multiple on both sides of the football, I like that. I like that a lot for this Bears team.
No, I like the way the fortunes of this team have changed. It's amazing. It feels like on day one, Ben Johnson came in and sat down with Caleb Williams, said, Caleb, what can I do for you to put you in the best position possible? And I can hear Caleb going, O-line, wide receivers. And next you know, they're out there. And even in the draft, people are like, well, why do we need a tight end at 10? And why do we need Luther Burden? And now you fast forward 3/4 of the way of the season, and we've had injuries, but lost more injury man hours to any other team in the league and still sitting at 10-4 because, and I just had this conversation with a friend of mine this morning. He goes, man, Roman and Burden are out. And I go, yeah, but for some reason, we have an embarrassment of riches at the skill positions that the Bears have never had before. It would not surprise me if we go out there in 12 personnel and just run 2 tight ends down Green Bay's throat because we've got Cole Kmet, great tight end, and Loveland is a glorified 20-pound heavier wide receiver.
Yeah.
So I can see that being what could be the changing in this game, and it's amazing the change. And you're right. We used to go fundamental. We used to a little bit here, a little bit there. We'd change the lineman, and then this guy would get hurt. We'd change a coordinator, and then his defense would fall apart. We change a coach, and then draft a quarterback, and then draft a quarterback and change a coach. It just feels like we're following a nice progression, and it's not chaotic anymore. It's the difference when you have an organized head coach who knows what to do, as opposed to Eberflus, who's throwing a dart at a wall and hoping something sticks in.
He might not last the year, by the way, in Dallas. I'm hearing that.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Caleb's head coach last year might find his way out of the league before the next season is over. That's what this man was dealing with last year.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Don't you remember when you played for Maine and the coaches just left you by yourself watching film in a dark room?
I had coaches yelling at me, watch this. I couldn't imagine being at the most difficult position in sports and you're watching film by yourself. Yep. The questions you're asking your pops or high school coaches you used to deal with. And you're sitting in the oldest franchise in the National Football League, and that's what your coaching was.
Yep. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And so this is why Caleb is having a great time now, because he's being coached. That dude legit gets there first, 7:15, 7:30, cup of coffee, his playbook, and leaves at 7 o'clock at night. Now, I know, you never confuse activity with accomplishment, but in this situation, it's working because he's learning week by week to be able to be a quarterback and a leader in the league. It's not one of those things where he's doing show and tell. He's actually working with Ben Johnson to make sure that this offense is right. So, and that really wasn't the case last year. Last year, he's kind of feeling himself, first-year guy, kicking it downtown. You see him in certain places, and you're like, but year 2, about it. Don't see him in those same places anymore, D'Lo, that you frequent when you come to town. He's not in those places.
I'll plead the fifth on that. But what I will say is, I had this image in my head, and I won't forget it. I remember Caleb throwing a pick, or it was a 4th down or something, and you see Caleb sitting on the sideline, and he's looking around, and next to him is Shane Waldron with this mouth gazed open, laughing. In the middle of a game, and you could just see Caleb was checked out. I've seen that look before.
Yeah.
And he was just checked out, and you knew what was going on. And it wasn't another week later Waldron was fired. But to hear that Caleb is getting the coaching that every high-level athlete who chases success wants, because they all have the talent to be there, but those dudes, that 1%ers, they're the ones that want to be rode hard when they make the simplest mistakes, because simple mistakes, they build and build and build to make giant mistakes. And you don't want to ever get to that point where one little thing is what costs you the difference between a playoff win and not. And to hear that Caleb was the first one in, the first one out, that's what your leader's supposed to do. I don't need to hear it. I don't need to hear you yelling in the locker room. I don't need to give a rah-rah speech. When you're between the lines and you're standing in the hashes and you're looking downfield with 10 other dudes, that's when I want a leader to come out. And that's what all that study time is doing for Caleb right now.
You made the point earlier about, with a couple of players being out. It's unfortunate we won't see Luther Burden and an issue with Roma Dunze. But, in past years, D'Lo, this would be crippling to the Bears. You say, well, who are you going to get the ball to? The absence of Micah Parsons to the Packers is crippling to their defense. But offensively speaking, as you mentioned, you have two able-bodied tight ends, and then you still have Zacchaeus. You have DJ Moore, who came on strong in the Cleveland game. There's Devin Duvernay, who came out of nowhere, was like, is a special teams guy getting touches? Like, okay. So now you got Ava's kid, Devin Duvernay. He's out there getting it done. So at least you have a number of pass catchers that could be able to get the job done.
Yeah, no, that's the beautiful thing, man. Like, we've never had a situation. We've always had the one dude we relied on.
Yeah.
And if that guy got hurt, oh, hell, what are we going to do? And you watch the offense go out there and look like an elementary school kid trying to figure out where their first, where their class was. Now it's like, it's weird, and I don't want to feel like overconfident, but once again, I said we had an embarrassment of riches where I think you can miss Rome and you can miss Luther, and we're still going to be okay. And then not to mention the fact that we got two A1 running backs. We don't got running back 1B, 1 and 1A, and 1 and 2. We got two guys who could start on any other team in the league in our backfield. So we're gonna rely on the run game. We're gonna run it down their throats like we did with Philly. We're gonna run it down their throats, and then when they creep that safety up, then we're gonna go over the top, and that's gonna be lights out.
So it's so great to look at this running game because the offensive line's helping, but also the running game's coming through. So much emphasis on Monangai as 7th round pick getting it done. I underestimated the running game. I didn't expect it to be this good, but then I think the offensive line would come together so fast too. So it works together in concert, right? Offensive line and tight ends, and sometimes an extra offensive lineman like a Trapillo comes in, opens up the door for Monangai, who's hitting the shit out of people, by the way. He's popping. He's popping guys, right? For a 7th round pick, yeah, he wants to be here. It's great.
He runs like a high school coach. He runs angry.
Yeah.
He runs like someone stole something from him. He's trying to catch it. He's trying to catch him. And he's punishing guys when he goes into the line of scrimmage. And if there ain't a hole, he gonna make a hole. And then I love the fact that, again, don't tell me what you're gonna do. Show me. And when Coach Johnson at the bye said, we're gonna fix the run game. And everyone wants, sure, every Bears coach has said that. And then from that point on, I don't know what scheme fit. I don't know what they're doing different, but every dude is blocking their ass off. You saw it last week. Colston knocked Myles Garrett on his ass 2-3 times. A DJ blocking, chipping Myles Garrett. And then you see D linemen who are so used to rushing upfield, taking that glance over the shoulder, and next thing you know, there's somebody in the secondary. And it's just, there's a different vibe about this team right now. And I'm not going to get on my horse. I ain't going to get uppity yet.
Yes.
But I've been watching this team since I was 9 years old. And this is a lot different than any other Bears team I've ever seen.
So I'll ask you this question, and I don't think there's a one answer for it. So who would you say is the best player on the Bears team?
Oh, geez. Golly.
Now, here's why I asked the question. You're 10-4. You're first place in the NFC North. You're the second best team in the NFC. The Bears have had more injury time than any team in the NFL. I read that this morning. that no one's
Yes.
been spent more time injured than the Bears. But somehow, some way, they're one of the best teams in the NFC. So how did they get there? Who's the number one player on this team?
I hate to say it, the number one player is Ben Johnson because he's got people believing. Literally, next man up is literally next man up. When you lose an Edmonds and you get a guy who doesn't even know how to call plays and he's got the green dot on, he goes out there and performs. When you've got a seventh round running back, Monangai, killing it. When you got DJ Moore playing for his first winning season of his professional college and professional life.
Yeah.
Everyone, it's a different dude stepping up each week. It's not just on Caleb's back. It's not just on Swift and Monangai's back. It's not just on DJ's back. A different dude is stepping up and being the dude. Look, think about this. Game balls. I don't think Ben Johnson's giving out game balls to the same two people in all 10 wins.
That's true.
So that tells you something right then. Normally, normally the quarterback gets the game ball every game because it's been different dudes every week.
Okay, I'll give you one, and you'll roll your eyes. So the best player on the Bears is like Joe Thuney at left guard.
Yeah, you know what?
Because you love the trenches, right? You're a trenches guy. You love the trenches. I mean, every guy on the offensive line deserves a game ball. But like, I wish I could tell you it's Caleb. He's learning. I wish I could tell you it's DeAndre Swift and Monangai. Wish I could tell you it's Roma Dunze. I wish I could tell you it's Montez Sweat. I wish I could tell you that. But I'm going to give it to like a guy like Thuney or Drew Dahlman because you don't hear anything about him except getting the job done. You don't hear anything since week 2. You haven't. How many times have you heard about the false start penalties? They used to have 10 or 12 of them like every game. Since week 2 or week 3, they've been. So I'm going to give it to an offensive lineman. How about that?
I ain't going to argue with you because I am fully entrenched in the Joe Thuney success conspiracy.
Yeah.
The brothers in Philly, they win a Super Bowl. He leaves and goes to Kansas City. Philly falls on hard times. KC goes to 3 straight Super Bowls. He leaves. I don't know. Coincidentally, KC didn't make the playoffs this year, and he's sitting with us, and we're 10-4. I'll give you the Thuney effect. I'm gonna go with you on that one.
You like the trenches,
bro? Yeah. If you don't control the line of scrimmage, that's where those are the unsung heroes on both sides of the ball. Those are the guys. The only time you hear their name is when they do something wrong.
Yes.
And they're an offensive line particularly is like a referee in pro wrestling. If I don't see them or notice them, they're all pros.
Right.
And that's what we got going on right now.
D'Lo Brown, I want to talk to you about the other side because with Caleb Williams and then with Jordan Love, it's hard for some people to determine what Jordan Love is. Is he top 10? Is he in the middle? I just know that in December, Toyotathon, I don't know why he starts to heat up, but he does really well offensively. Now, there's weapons that he's missing also because of litany of injuries that the Packers have. It's more than Micah Parsons. This cripples their defense because Micah Parsons is one of one the way he does things. He's not a offensive lineman. He's not a second. He's just an athlete out there, right? But offensively speaking with Jordan Love, I want to talk to you about this because my issue with the Bears all season has been the lack of pass rush. It's one thing to take on the Browns and have injured offensive linemen and, Shedeur Sanders is a rookie. Like, all right, you got home there. But they haven't gotten home enough. And I'm just wondering from you whether or not you feel that it's Sweat and Dexter and Grady Jarrett and Austin Booker. Can they be able to flush out Love and make him uncomfortable? Because that's key.
It's not can they. They're going to have to. For us to really to win this game, you got to get Jordan Love off the spot. And you can if you leave Jordan Love in the backfield, standing in the pocket, standing there looking downfield, he's going to find somebody. And he's going to make one of those moonball throws. You're going to go, oh, my God, this is why he's amazing. This is why he's going to finish. He's with the next great Green Bay Packer quarterback. But then if you move him off the spot, like Myles Garrett did, that's how Cleveland beats him. So you got to be able to move Jordan Love from side to side and don't let him sit in the back of that, in that pocket. And that's where we're going to need, sweating the boys to come up. And so far this year, they've not given us any pass rush. I mean, it's spotty at best. Sometimes you get a coverage sack. Every now and then you're lucky into an, oh my God, look at that move. But that's, I think, is the missing piece we're going to need to find for next year. Is that rush edge, like I'm calling it now, like a Max Crosby, who will be a Bear next year, by the way. He'll be a Bear next year. I'm calling it now.
Wait, I've been in your town. Like, all of the billboards have Max Crosby on it almost. Like, he's the face of the Raiders.
Yeah, he is, but you know what? There's a couple draft picks you can get for him to help build for the future, because that team, as bad as the Bears ever were, man, the Raiders are in trouble. Yes. And I hear it all the time. They are bad and they don't know where to go. Literally, I live 5 minutes from their facility. So I run into players all the time. And man, they're worse than Cleveland.
I can understand. Yeah. I mean, Ashton Jeanty has nowhere to run with a bad offensive line. You know,
how do you take a Heisman Trophy winning running back and make him look like a high school running back? Put him behind the Raiders offensive line.
Yeah. This is why it's great that the Chicago Bears are in their position, because even though things can happen in year 2, year 3 of Ben Johnson, the point is that you're ahead of schedule from a personnel standpoint. That's the thing. So look, here's what I will tell you. D'Lo, I believe the Bears are going to beat the Packers, and I know people are looking at the rest of that schedule, and I'm just saying, like, the Bears have to just take care of business, right? You want to get that win back. They are injured, and so you have to be able to take advantage. What I want from Caleb Williams is for him to be able to get off to a quicker start in the first quarter, in the first half. Put the defense on the heels. That's so important to be. You got the crowd behind you. So put the defense on their heels by, again, connecting to the tight end in Loveland. I don't need a 50-yard pass. I just want them to just down the field, run the football hard, and get in there. It should not be a force field between the 10-yard line and the end zone. Just get it in there. Get in there.
The recipe was exactly what we did against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Before Cleveland even got warmed up, they were down 14-0. And then you dictate pace. And now you've got a young rookie quarterback trying to chase it. If the Bears can jump out ahead and control the ball, keep Jordan Love sitting on the sideline, control the ball, get up early. I don't need Superman to pull his cape out with 2 minutes left. Yes. How about we let Clark Kent play the whole game and just play a workmanlike game and just methodically beat a team that, look, you beat teams that they've lost to. We can beat this team. The Bears can beat the Packers. For 2 weeks last week, when they were playing, at no point did I go, man, the gap is huge like it used to be. You could see that those were two even teams that are going toe-to-toe, and now it's difference of coaching or quarterback, not a franchise difference between the two. Workman just go out there, control the game, beat Green Bay into submission, let Soldier Field go crazy. We'll be okay.
So I know that you're not a gambling man because you lose your shirt in Sin City.
Yes,
but,
yes.
The Packers are favored at Soldier Field. Are you aware of this?
Here's that to me. With Micah going down, running back questionable, wide receiver questionable, and for them to still be a favorite, I'm going to take, and I'm not the biggest gambler, but I'm going to take the home dog on a short week. I'll just put it like that. I'll take the home dog on a short week.
It started the week at Packers 3.5, and then the announcements came for all their injuries. And now, as we talk, the Packers are 1.5 point favorites. Okay, Bears have been underdogs before, and so I'm not really concerned about the number.
I'm not sure. You know what? I'd rather play the underdog because we don't play well as favorites. So let the world think Green Bay is going to come in and walk all over Chicago, and then we'll see at the end of the fourth quarter.
So here's what I need to know, D'Lo Brown, because I've not talked to you about this before.
Okay.
You're the biggest Bears fan that I know. However,
Yes, sir.
I would like for you to tell me whether or not you have a relationship with Seth Rollins, because he continues to try to be on. He's all up in the video, Suge Knight. He's all up in the video, dancing in the video, trying to portray himself as the best Bears fan. Do you guys have a connection at all, you and Seth Rollins?
He and I go back a long way.
Yes.
And I will say this, that there is no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm a bigger Bear fan than Seth Rollins ever will be. Put it like this. My daughter is named Peyton.
Yes.
My ex-wife's nickname used to be Sweetness.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And I wear Bear swag more than I wear my own.
Yes.
I'm good. I will fan them up against anybody's. And I don't hate the Bears when they lose. I'm angry at them, but I don't get mad at them.
Yes. You don't hate football when the Bears lose.
I don't hate football when the Bears lose. I hated The Office for letting my team lose.
I see. Understood. I want to make sure that's very clear. We have never talked about this before, but I feel like, very much like Diddy. I know that's not a good reference these days based on the Netflix special, but all up in the video, dancing, letting everybody know how big a Bears fan he is. And I'm like, D'Lo Brown's a bigger Bears fan, I thought. So
I don't have to tell anybody I'm a Bears fan. Everybody already knows.
That's true. That's it.
Everybody already knows.
Okay, just want to make sure that's on the record. I want to make sure that that's very clear. By the way, if you are listening to the podcast, you could check out D'Lo Brown on Cameo at D'Lo Brown 75. You can follow him on X for that. And also, I see you've been digging in the crates, man. There's a lot of stuff that you have not brought out for us, the wrestling fan, in a while, like some of your action figures.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff that I've just been sitting on for years, and I thought, man, instead of it just sitting in a closet or sitting in a tote somewhere, why not get it out into the world? And yeah, I've stumbled across a few action figures, some T-shirts, and hell, even some old wrestling clips that I'm putting out on socials. It's like I just want to put it back out there, just to just wave, go, hey, I'm still over here, and it's amazing. I love the fans, and they support me in every aspect of what I'm doing, and it's amazing. The minute I say, hey, I've got an action figure, I got one right now that I'm about to go run off to the post office and send out. It's just absolutely, I love the wrestling fans. Wrestling fans remind me of the city of Chicago. If you're good to them, they'll be good to you forever.
That's right. So I don't know why you've been holding out. You remind me so much of Howard Griffith. Big Ten.
Oh, wait a minute.
Howard Griffith, the Big Ten Network, 2-time Super Bowl champion. He lives in Bronzeville. Still a Bears fan, but he covers college football. You go to Howard Griffith's house, you couldn't tell he played football. He doesn't even talk about it. Like, you are a fullback on John Elway's team. And he doesn't talk. You remind me of him so much. Like, there's so many people that love you. But I think that you're coming to the realization, like, yeah, like, people want to get a hold of you. People want to get your action figure. Like, this should have been a thing. But now it's good that your eyes are open, that people want to see you overseas. Like, you've been great to us, the fans, for 30 years.
It's you. I've always been taught to be humble because success is fleeting. But at some point, you instead of me deflecting the flowers people are throwing at me, it's about time I just, just take them all in. Just take it in, because you're not promised tomorrow. So I've given so much to the fans out there. I'm appreciative of them giving back to me. So you're right, man. I'm gonna be more vocal. I'm gonna be more out there now, because it's been nothing but positive feedback, and I'm appreciative of it.
It's overdue. Let me just tell you, it's overdue for you to get back. Let people love on you, man. You've given so much to us. And by the way, this is a ramp up for your last match. We can't wait for that too. When's that scheduled? Your actual last match?
You know something I don't know?
You're going to have a last match, yes.
You know what?
I want ground and pound D'Lo so much. Let me tell you right now. I'll pay top dollar to see ground and pound D'Lo for his last match.
I tell you what, if you and I sit down, we could play the video game together, and I could definitely have a last match with you there. And I'll do all my stuff, bro. I'll play the greatest hits.
No, you can't be out there and not have your last. So, will you have a match? Oh, here's a question. Will you have a match in 2026? Do you think that you will be booked in 2026 to wrestle?
Here's the thing. Why does my alarm keep going off? That's what I want to know.
It's because it's the prescription. Every 15 minutes, it's just reminding you the prescription for the pain.
Yeah. Should have had that for my first marriage. Here's the one word that should never be said in wrestling.
Yes.
Is never. Never say never. Right now, there are no matches scheduled, but there's a couple of good bank accounts out there that can get me back in the ring.
Okay. So I expect to see ground and pound D'Lo in 2026 because everyone's having their last match these days, as you well know. I mean, it's getting around like a plague. Everyone's trying to get their last match, including someone that you know very well in John Cena. That just happened just recently.
I can't believe this damn phone. John Cena did have his last match, and I don't know if my last match would be ground and pound or stumble and bumble, but I'd figure it out.
So I wanted to talk to you about the Bears, but I did want to ask you about Cena because he takes on Gunther, Saturday night's main event, sold out in Washington, D.C. My thought leading up was, man, if this is 1980, 1990, Gunther has an Austrian flag. He's the anti-American. That gimmick gets over 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. He doesn't need the flag now because we're not doing that gimmick in 2025. But here's John Cena. And so the best money was, Cena's gonna lose the match because he wants to leave the business in a better spot. But I think there's a lot of people that don't understand that, once I'm done, I got to leave the business better than I left it. And so I left it in the hands of Gunther. So that was the right call, right? Or I mean, if it's you booking, is that the right call?
Here's a testament of what the booking was. That Monday on Raw, what was the reaction when Gunther was talking in the ring?
Heat.
That's all you have. That's it. That's it. Right there. No matter how this retirement tour for Cena was booked throughout this calendar year, the one thing that was still there is Cena has been the thread for the last 20 years in a lot of people's lives. And he's beloved. He was hated so much that he became beloved, and he became beloved to iconic. And when you have the model of never give up, and in his last match he had to give up, that just translates to heat for the dude that did it. And Gunther is straight out of Central Casting. He's not just the evil German or Austrian. He's a Bond villain.
Yeah.
And he just he's the dude from Die Hard. He's the villain from Die Hard he gets under your skin so much you're like, the hell with him. And that's what Gunther brings to the table. And now you put that heat on top of him. And at first, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't all on board with A, the booking, or B, the finish. And then I saw the result of it. I heard the result of it on Monday Night Raw. And at that point, you know what? Yeah, that was the right way to go.
I think there was Hershey. So that's a WWE stronghold, right? So
that's one of those core 15 or 20 buildings that Vince Sr. made his money on, let alone Vince Jr. That's an iconic city. That's in the backyard of WWE, and to get that reaction, that says a lot.
It was red hot. The thing I liked about this also, I mean, it's great. He kept going back and forth, and he started getting more and more boos. He had to be walked out to his car at Washington
Mhm.
D.C., and I'm like, oh shit. Said, don't get
Because
sliced asshole appetite like Jim Cornette used to say.
but
So,
you
you
got
know,
you got a guy and here a novel concept. Here's a guy not afraid to be a heel. He doesn't
yeah,
want to be a cool heel. He doesn't want to do cool looking stuff to get a pop. He just wants to be a bad guy.
yeah,
And look how that translates. He's not a shade of gray. It's black or white, and he is the man wearing the black hat. And he embraces it. And that's going to make him the hottest heel this business has seen in a long time.
yeah. Walked out to his car after Saturday Night's main event. That's some heat there, brother. And the crowd
You
was
know,
going after him. That was
I,
unbelievable.
I've had that in Tennessee, never in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder why I'm working for Smoky Mountain. I wonder why you had to be walked
Yeah,
out to your car.
I've had that bad, but never like in the building, never in the WWE parking lots that I ever be walked out to a car ever.
It's
Yeah.
I listen, as you well know, a longtime wrestling fan. I don't consider myself a historian. I'm just someone that grew up in Chicago watching wrestling for a long time. That dude in any generation works. Look
Oh
at him.
yeah.
Black boots, black tights, wrestler, monster.
Yeah,
And
bro.
he might as well have a cloak and a sickle next to him because as he went out to the car, he was in a small car for a big guy. I thought it was strange. He goes out to his car, right? And he sees AJ Styles. Guess who's retiring next year?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you're next. I'm gonna retire you too. Oh my god.
And you're right. You could put Gunther, put him in any generation from the 30s on.
Yeah.
Put him in every 10 years. Just look at every 10 years. And he works.
Yep.
He fits in anywhere. I could see him having a match with Flair or Dusty.
Yeah.
I could see him having a match with Ernie Ladd. I could see him having a match with Gorgeous George. Like he could fit in any time. And I wonder if that was a subtle plant having AJ in the background of Gunther there, just as because that wouldn't be the first time a message was sent innocuously through a background imagery. So that was a seed that might have been planted.
It's very interesting what they're doing with Gunther. Also, the one thing I like about him, D'Lo, is like, he's got no problem taking a pounding, right? But I've been telling people, when I watch Gunther matches, he gets the chops in, he gets his offense, but also takes a lot too for a big guy. But then he has this, it's a strange thing. You don't see this in wrestling very often. I equate this to Jokic with the Nuggets. Jokic, when you're down 10, couple of threes, a couple of layups, block shot, and all of a sudden you look at the scoreboard, it's like we lost by 5. What happened there? He gets on a roll. It's strange. Like he'll be down in the match, and all of a sudden, 2 or 3 moves, drop kick, sleeper, done. It's not one of these like gotcha roll up pin guy kind of guys. He has a momentum about him at the end of matches. 4 or 5 moves, done, just like that. That's how he does it. It's very unique.
He strings that combination offense together so well towards the end of his matches. And it's one of those deals where, in football, when they say momentum, it tilts the field. Mm-hmm. Well, if Gunther's on this side of the field, it's just boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, it's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
It's just, he snatched momentum away, and his matches are put together in such a way where he feels like he's so far out of it to snatch it and beat you convincingly. And it's well done. And that causes people to get angry. And when people get angry, they pay to see you lose. And when you don't lose, you get Gunther.
This is what the business and the foundation of the business is. Not the cool heels that he can't stand to be booed. A guy that doesn't care. I love it, man, because that's really the roots of the business of wrestling. I love it.
The best heels are the dudes that they'll joke about it and laugh about it in the locker room, but they want someone to pull a knife on them. They want someone to follow them into the parking lot because that means they're doing their job in the arena. And those guys are few and far between anymore, and they haven't been around in 20 years or so. And it's cool to see a unicorn standing in the middle of the ring getting all that heat and not caring if you're singing his song, not caring if you're chanting his catchphrase, but every match you're invested in, you're watching him and you want to see him lose. And when he doesn't, he's throwing up a big old middle finger to you and go, come back next week, see if I'll lose then.
I guess you would know about Cool Heels because you were one.
Well, you know. I was
that
swag
true?
before I was swag before swag was a word.
See, I got you because you did, especially after the nation broke up, but definitely in the moment, depending on what market you went to, people loved you guys because you were anti-establishment. So.
People did love me, and I don't know if I was the little engine that could. I shouldn't have been there, but people got behind me, and I wanted to show out like I was a proud peacock walking around that ring, and I didn't care.
There he is, Cool Heel D'Lo Brown. Babyface now, by the way.
Babyface now. I'm a babyface. I was always babyface. No one just knew it. It's perspective. I was always babyface.
In hindsight, yes. In hindsight.
In hindsight.
Yes, you were. So, lastly, again, check out D'Lo Brown on Cameo, book Cameo at D'Lo Brown 75, and also you have the email out there for bookings as far as seminars. It's not bookings for in ring. It's bookings for seminars.
It's seminars. I do color commentating. I critique matches. I try to put it back into the business as much as I can now, and try to pass on the lessons that were gracefully given to me. So just reach out. One thing is, if you get me on Instagram, it's at D'Lo Brown LFC, and just hit me up. I'm interactive. I talk all the time. Talk too much, and if you talk Bears, I'll be on there all day long.
I hope to talk to you when the Bears make the playoffs. Knock on wood.
I will tell you this: one, I'll be in San Fran next Sunday. Watch for the game, which I'm scared as hell because we don't play well in San Fran, but if the Bears make the playoffs, cold weather or not, it's been so long since the last time we had a playoff run, I might have to venture out, and whether it be in Soldier or Green Bay or wherever it is, hopefully it's in LA. But no matter where it is, I'm going to have to be in a stadium somewhere because it's been a long time since the beloved looked like this.
Oh, you haven't heard because you haven't been out these parts in a while. You know they moved to Gary for this game. They moved to Gary, Indiana. So
yeah, you want to find the quickest way to take a fan base and yank their heart out.
Yeah.
Dangle moving across the east border, going over to Indiana. Just dangle that out there and watch how fast. He's done a lot of things, but this could cost someone their job, Kevin Warren, because it was an ill-advised statement, and it's playing 4D chess when checkers is only required.
It's fair. It's fair. To be able to negotiate, it takes two people or it takes a room full of people, but you cannot go through the spring and not have a shovel in the ground. Something has to give. You can't stay at Soldier Field. You got to get the hell out of here, In
the time that the Bears bought Arlington Park, 3 other teams have got stadiums approved. Buffalo's is almost built. Yep. Nashville's, Tennessee's, there's shovels in the ground. And we're still sitting on an empty lot in Arlington Heights 5 years later.
Yep.
And with every bit of good momentum that is playing out on the field, if the office doesn't keep pace with what's on the field, then we're no different than we were under Eberflus.
That's fair. I think that's a fair statement because you want it to be level, right? You want it to be even. If your play on the field is good, you want your front office to be good as well. I know some people like to separate the two. I don't, because if you've turned the corner as an organization, that means business-wise and on the field, that means that you're different. You're not the same old, So that does matter.
what is the similarity between all the great teams in the last 50 years? Great play on the field, awesome front office. And they work hand in hand together to keep both accountable. If one is better than the other, it's only a matter before the bad one drags the good one down and you're both in the hellhole.
So we'll see what happens with that. But I'm looking forward to Saturday's game, my friend. Let's see what happens.
I'll be sitting there with bells on in front of my TV, and I'll be texting you, Hoodie. I'll be. Did you see that? I'll be texting you.
We are presented by Enkin Law, 312-6-million injury law made personal. There he is, Howard Enkin. 312-6-million slip and fall. You never know what happens at work. Put the number in your phone. You might need it. 312-6-million for the great Howard Enkin. Sign my
Howard Enkin, my guy.
Yeah, Chicago guy. Howard Enkin. It's unbelievable. So keep it locked here at Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. We got so much. Me and Cousin Wiley will do the post-game show coming up on Saturday night, so make sure that you're with us for that. D-Lo, thank you so much, man. Appreciate your time.
Hoodie, appreciate you, and it's good to be under the hood, but you better recognize D-Lo Brown was here.
There it is. So long, everybody.